Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our Hearts of Iron 3 Puppet Master series. Last time, we gained 2 more puppets, Luxembourg and Belgium, but, well, I suppose the other big thing we did is occupy most of Spain, but we haven't quite puppeted them yet, and otherwise it's just been building up our strength to prepare for future wars against the UK, Soviet Union, lots of other countries to come. Let's see how it goes. It's in planes, so we should have a pretty good chance of this. But it's not actually going well for us. Organisation's quite low and dropping. Although it looks like we're going to looks like the Scottish are losing quicker than we are. And there's plenty of allies following us up, so we should be pretty alright soon. And we've reached La Corona in the north. Oh, I've got some transport ships which aren't attached to anything. No, you're attached to OB Africa. Why am I looking at you in my screen here then? Oh, because you're no longer under AI orders apparently. Ah, because you've lost all your land. So you've got no theatre. So you're not actually... No, you don't count as under AI control anymore. Anyway. Who did I send to north? Blaskovitz, by the looks of it. So you will just... attacking into Porto, obvious way to do it, it's down the plains here. So we'll just, just attack into there. Which means the other one's going to charge straight in to capture Lisbon. And by the other one, I mean the second course, I can't say core, under Straub. We'll be heading towards Lisbon. But first they've got to take Malaga and Gibraltar. And Spain has to surrender soon. 96.5% surrender progress. They will surrender soon. And I might as well send my allies to defend the Portuguese border. Tank destroyers, Marder 2, and our tanks are I can't remember what that's called. That really awful multi-turreted tank that the Germans had. Oh, but they're being upgraded to Panzer 3s, which are actually worth having. It's knowledge we're about right on time in terms of our armoured technology. Oh, and French have sent us some divisions. I might actually send them to join the African army. No, I'll just send them to join any old army. They've actually sent us some really good troops though. But they'll fight in Europe. They'll do well there. Oh, here we go, we're attacking Gibraltar. And again they've got fortifications, but it's only infantry guarding them. Got the better general, and I expect we'll actually start wearing them down as we did in the Maginot Line. Is that all there? No, one more to go. Capture Malaga. And it doesn't look like Malaga is going to last very long. I mean, they've got the Belgium, the Czechs and the Slovaks are right there. It's actually only Britain's. Yeah, Britain's the only country fighting in Spain now. Or the only enemy country fighting in Spain. About to take Gibraltar. Any moment now. There we go. And that's good, but hopefully I won't have to fight in Morocco and all this land will just come straight over to me. Or some of it will go back to France. And then I'll have something for my African army to do again. Oh, I can't give them... There we go. A little bit of land in the south there. Just so that I can give you orders again. Ah, the Azores are also Portuguese, and also the Cape Verde Islands. And they'll actually have Lisbon's 3 points, Porto, that's 4, but that's 1, 2, yeah, so I might not actually be able to take all of Portugal, especially, oh, Nova Lisboa 5 points, so I'm going to have to take Angola before Portugal will surrender. But, it doesn't matter. I'll just let this African HQ deal with it. They'll be getting some destroyers and transport ships soon, so we'll be able to start moving some troops into Africa. Okay, and Spain hasn't surrendered. Oh, there they go. Cool. So we did grab all of Morocco, like I'd hoped. And then we'll get the first SS Corps. No, we won't. We'll get the second SS Corps. And you will go to... Oh, Gibraltar gave us a decent bonus to our supply throughput, which is always nice. And Belgium's moving some more troops south. Oh. And those were my African fleet transport ships that are obviously trying to transport something down to Africa. No, they're not, they're just trying to sail to Africa. But they're both sunk now, so that's that. Don't know why they were going to go there without any troops, but apparently they thought it was a good idea. So my battleships are still a long way off, aren't they? September 1941. But my destroyers not so far off. Submarines, not very far at all, really. Just got to get through a few naval bombers first, but that won't take very long. Just wondering if I should set my Oberkommando Europe into naval defensive, or possibly even offensive, and start trying to take out the British fleet, and also order them to, you know, attack London if they can. Especially since when I attack Portugal now, I'll also have the Spanish fleet here to help me out, as well as the French, and Belgium's got a little bit of a navy I see sailing around occasionally. Oh, we're fighting here. Oh, we've sent some divisions down the south here. Which, all this land shouldn't belong to you, it should be OB Africa. Here we go, and suddenly you need a lot more troops because I'm actually asking you to fight places. I kind of wish it was possible to just set it so that I wouldn't build, say, garrison troops or heavy cruisers, because it's a waste of time, especially since in this particular scenario, when I click build here, it'll build one armour brigade and then attach 2 garrison brigades to it, which is just stupid because garrisons are painfully slow and completely ruin the one benefit you get from having armour. I mean, I'd be very good at holding whatever city you send them to garrison, but it's a complete waste of resources attaching an armour brigade to garrison troops. Oh, there's still British in southern Spain here. Actually, I've got lots of troops on the border with Morocco, and a few on the border there. I hope there would be. I'll stop them from attacking Seville. And now let's declare war on Lisbon. Puppet. Oh, when I say Lisbon, I mean Portugal. Apparently I often get countries and their capital cities mixed up. Britain just took a little bit of Spain, because they were busy retreating through it. And Portugal appears to have no troops defending their homeland. And I've actually got lots of soldiers in Africa. By lots, I mean, well, 6 brigades, which is more than I thought. And actually, I might as well transfer them into OB Africa. OB Africa, and you there are... Oh, there's 2 infantry divisions here. Well, that army corps is actually right next door, and that's already been attached, so we'll send them there. And there's some more troops for the African army. Which is sitting in Gibraltar. Move to Benin City. Okay. Oh, well, that's that one I just did. So he's invading Nigeria. Or I suppose he's invading Benin now. Okay, there was a little bit of fighting in Portugal, at least there's a few soldiers here. But we'll just get them to press out a bit and try and occupy a bit more of this country here. And my allies are coming in. Should send them to take Lisbon. Let's see, I'm just defending the frontier. Looks like I'm sending troops to bolster the front line with the Soviets, which is very good of me. And move these guys up a bit. Don't actually think there's any troops to the south of me, so I might as well just start moving north to link up with my other troops who are going to be heading south. And just let my allies deal with the rest of them. And again, I'm very good at calling my puppets my allies. And that looks like it's going to be the end of the Portuguese army, in Europe at least. I imagine they've got a fair few down here in Angola. Oh, and a few around here, actually a lot. I'll give something for the French to fight, I suppose. Maybe Europe's got a few ships hanging out in Africa. Oh, and there's some destroyers heading back to Europe. So obviously I can move through the English Channel without too much hassle. I mean, I've lost those 2 transport ship flotillas, but those destroyers made it without being hassled at all. So maybe it is time to start taking the fight to the Royal Navy. I want 46 more submarines to do it though. More destroyers coming, and then more submarines coming after that. Battleships coming soon. Yeah, let's get OB Europe. Naval, let's just go full offensive. Set London as an objective, and also the Azores, because it's a Portuguese one, and I want to take it. And see how we go. I mean, oh, naval combat, losing badly. I think we will lose most of these, but with the French and Spanish help, we should hopefully be able to wear the British down. Our submarines will hopefully be able to destroy a lot of their convoys, which will just make it... well, they'll just have to spend their IC on things other than ships. And hopefully we'll also be, bombing things as well. Apparently we're doing strategic bombing with our tactical bombers. But I don't do it, but apparently the AI does. Did I leave my SS army? Way back here. Should have been nearer to the front. So Von Frisch, who's old guard, so I'll get rid of that. Ringel will be the new SS army leader. Any others of these? Good advice, I'll get rid of you. Kepler. Okay, it looks like now we're about to get rid of all the old guard commanders. Okay, we probably should do something about the British down south here, but I don't want to. At least not right now. Let's go and take Switzerland. So 2 victory points. Both easily accessible from the north, so we'll just set one corps up in Besancon and head straight in there, and the other one can be in Lörrach and head straight down south into Zurich. And Switzerland should fall pretty quickly, especially since neither of those are mountains. And after we capture Switzerland, could do Hungary, Yugoslavia, Italy, Greece, Bulgaria, just the Balkans campaign. Actually, Italy would be good. We lost a destroyer flotilla. I say Italy would be good because we could get Libya and Ethiopia as well. Actually, I think Ethiopia would effectively switch sides, because it would be declaring a war at us, but we can't annex it from where we are. But we get Libya, and now another front against the British in Africa here. Which, especially if I order these French troops, they will go and fight there. But for now it's probably best to just let them fight out down here, which I think they will do. Well, there are troops landing here, so they will do eventually. And of course Italy is a powerful ally to have as well. So is Yugoslavia. At least they'll have a lot of troops. Greece, Bulgaria, Hungary, not so much. Oh, Hungary's got a decent sized army. Oh, technology is too advanced. Port strike tactics. Get rid of that. I'm going to get lots of technology soon. Hey, it's into 1940. This is about the time when we're supposed to be considering invading Denmark, but instead we've done a lot of other things. I suppose Denmark's the next one after I've done my Balkans campaign. Denmark, Norway, Sweden. And then it's just a case of either taking on the Soviet Union, concentrating on Africa, or doing something about the UK. And I can hear that, well, my convoys are still being sunk. Anything I can do? It's just all these supplies going into Africa and Spain and Portugal. Actually, nothing going to Spain. It's Gibraltar, Portugal and Africa. But I've got convoys. I can afford to take losses. Well, apparently we only need 9 battleships now to defeat Britain. And I'm building 5 of them, so they actually must be pretty happy. Although they want more transport ships. Got lots of troops along the Soviet border. And I don't need to defend Lisbon anymore. I might as well order them to attack into Bern. But my guys are almost in position. Where are they attacking from? Besancon was one. And then it is the 1st SS Corps attacking. I was going to attack out of Lörrach, but now I see there's a river there, so they might as well attack out of Mulhouse. So I still have to attack over a river to get into Zurich, but only 1 river crossing instead of 2 is a bit easier. And lots of forts to fight through, but I assume they'll be able to manage fine. I mean, they've been doing pretty well at busting through forts anyway. Well, so far they've gone through the Maginot Line, had no problems fighting in Gibraltar. Now let's see if they can deal with Switzerland. We'll just have to wait for the 80 odd hours until they can attack again. No, technology's too advanced. Lots of them. Agriculture I saw. central planning, Operation Naval Command, Naval Air, okay, all the things below small warship ASW. Oh, we lost a destroyer flotilla, and we lost another destroyer flotilla. So in other words, I'm losing ships pretty quickly here, and I'm not sinking many of the British ones either. Although they are taking damage, at least that one is. Hopefully the French are doing a bit better than I am. Oh, we lost another fight. Thing is, the Royal Navy really outnumbers me, but their ships are actually very obsolete. Britain really didn't build that many ships between the First and Second World War. Well, that's not true, they built a fair few ships, but the bulk of their fleet were old First World War designs. So qualitatively I can do all right here, it's just that I'm outnumbered quite badly. Supply production we can get rid of. Although those H-class battleships that I'm building here, I'm pretty sure they're H-class battleships. H-class plus destroys a Z-46, Hipper and Nuremberg, Scharnhorst, but I'm not building those. Submarines are Type 9s. So in other words, the battleships I'm building now are actually more advanced than any Germany built in real life. But my submarines are actually not the best, but they are still pretty good for this time period. Actually, it's probably safe to say they were probably the most advanced submarine design the Germans had in 1939 and 1940. At least the most advanced ones they had in, decent production series. Okay, and Switzerland, we've got our forces there, they're ready to go. So let's just do this. Don't have any troops other than my SS here ready to help, but I'm assuming they'll move in later, but I don't think they'll really be necessary, especially not seeing how well this corps is doing against the fortresses in Aral. We've just won, I didn't even get a chance to look at it, and we're already attacking Bern. One Alpine division, they're not even mobilised yet, so my guys have just slaughtered them. Although they might take some land off Austria, but we're about to force them to surrender here. And the technology is too far advanced. It is mass assault. And the French are sending some troops in to help us out. And I don't have anybody guarding, because apparently it's African Command's job to guard Portugal, and they don't have very many troops. Haven't captured Zurich yet. We're not doing too well here. We'll do alright once the day starts, I think. Sun's up, and yeah, we're slaughtering them now. It's going to be a little while till we can capture Zurich and force the surrender. The Swiss have actually advanced into Germany. Not that will mean anything, because they will lose very shortly. As in probably tomorrow. First of March, Zurich falls, and the 2nd of March they'll surrender. And decryption machine is too advanced. Oops, and I assume delay doctrine was also too advanced. Yep, 1942. And now Switzerland is our puppet. So now Italy, I think. Get everyone to focus on them. Get over Commando Europe. And I should also send them to defend Switzerland. And actually, how much of Italy do I have to capture? 81.4%. So I think I might as well order my allies to continue on towards the south. Just because otherwise they'll hit Rome and then stop and just defend there, whereas I want them to keep pushing down the peninsula. And where are all my forces? and Poland facing off against the Soviets, so they'll move back to fight Italy. And once I get a decent portion of these guys in position, because I probably will actually need my army to fight the Italians, then I'll go to war. And then we'll make some gains, and then the Poles and the French and everyone else will arrive, and they'll finish them off for us. Supply organisation advance. Probably to, yep, I can get rid of encryption and supply organisation. 65 projects of 31. And there's supply transportation. Okay, and how shall we beat Italy? I'm kind of thinking, using my 2 SS cores again, I lost another destroyer flotilla. One can attack straight out of Italy into this forest and head south, the other one can attack out of Austria into the hills and head south, and hopefully between the two of them we'll trap a few divisions in the Alps here, a few against the French border here, and a few against Yugoslavia here. And just rely on my allies to hold the flanks. Austria in particular looks fairly weak at doing so, but hopefully the Czechs and Slovaks will help them guard the line, and hopefully my troops will be heading down that way. But I think that's probably the best we can do. Industrial production and industrial efficiency, both get rid of them. So you can go, where was that place? Take into Belluno, and then into Venice, and then over towards Reggio nell'Emilia. No, actually let's just go straight down to Florence. Go for a deep encirclement. While the other one will head into Como, Milan, Genova, then into Florence. Straub. Locarno is where you start. And assault concentration is, and I'm assuming special forces as well. Both far too advanced. 1942 technologies. We may get superior firepower soon. And with it will come our need for, well, not our need, but I'll start building self-propelled rocket artillery for my armoured divisions. Another destroyer flotilla gone. It's kind of okay though. There's superior firepower, and infantry warfare and mobile warfare. So we can get 5 brigades for every division now. So we might as well start doing that. Infantry, artillery, anti-tank, engineers. Volksturm will leave as is. The Panzers. Armour, is that how I've actually been doing it? Maybe I just didn't save it, because I would have thought I would go tank destroyer, engineer, and then a self-propelled rocket artillery when I can. Mountain troops, I also haven't built any of those. Air landing, I haven't built any. I'm not sure if I even researched them. This was the Marines. Might as well put engineers in there. Oh no, you want some mountain troops, 14 of them in fact. So let's build, actually we're not that far behind in production. Up to building submarines and destroyers, and our destroyer flotillas are only a few months away. Those guys are there in May. A few mountain divisions for Africa there. It's really all those troops for Africa that are taking up our time. But we'll go mountain division, yes, yes, artillery, anti-tank, engineer. Actually, you don't put artillery with mountain troops because it cancels out each other's bonuses. Like just the bonuses they get for fighting in hills and the like. We'll save template and build 4 of them. Oh no, we'll build a few more than 4 apparently. And that will also be some useful infantry for the fight against the Soviet Union, where I really just don't think we don't have enough. Oh, cool, we killed HMS York. Lost Scharnhorst though. Lost some submarines, lost Königsberg, lost another destroyer flotilla. So we're really losing this war at sea. But it's okay. So it turns out fighting the British in the south of Spain wasn't actually all that difficult. We conquered them fairly easy and took Gibraltar. Portugal conquered easy, shame we couldn't puppet it, but they were never going to put up much of resistance. We've started advancing into Africa, which is very good, especially since we're now fighting Portuguese troops down there as well. We will be shortly. At sea, things haven't gone that well for us. We've been trying to take the offensive against the United Kingdom, but we've been suffering very heavy losses in doing so. However, we have managed to bring Spain and Switzerland onto our side in this episode, which is very good for us. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all next time.